Good evening and thank you for choosing ABC6 News. I'm Laura Lee.
And I'm Carson Forsman. Today marks day one of the NFL draft, and it's also the beginning of what could feel like a long wait for Winona State quarterback and Byron native Jack Nelson.
ABC6 Sports Director Sean Tehan joins us in studio tonight to tell us why Nelson is good enough to live out his dream.
Hey, thanks, guys. For most of his football career, Jack Nelson has been overlooked, but that hasn't stopped his confidence, and he's hoping to put Winona and Byron on the map.
It's just always something I always did. I didn't really choose it. I was able to throw the ball pretty well, and something I enjoyed doing is kind of running the show.
Jack Nelson was someone who could always throw a football. Being a quarterback wasn't a choice, it was a destination.
Fresh-faced kid I remember as a 7th grader walking into one of my summer camps going, who is this kid? And he could throw it about 50 yards already.
He could always throw a ball.
Nelson comes from the small town of Byron, where he starred for the Bears. But Jack's greatest asset has always been his character.
He would always wait around and shake hands with the kids. He got it. He got it that he was more than just a quarterback. He was a role model, and these kids just looked up to him.
In 2012, Jack had a tremendous senior season for Byron.
He had 9 touchdowns running and about 800 yards rushing his senior year, plus 2,100 yards passing and about 21 touchdowns, 22 touchdowns.
There were plenty of good times during his Byron football days, but there were also a fair share of sad times. He played his senior season with a heavy heart. One of his best friends, Deej Logan, was texting and driving before dying in a car accident. The week of the accident, he played against Leward. The Bears lost 28-21, but it's something that'll never leave his mother's mind.
It was so emotional, and to see those boys after the game stood on the field and hugged each other and cried, and it was, I mean, I hate to say it's a favorite memory, but it's a memory that'll never leave me because they were just such a close team, and I don't know, they just came together.
Without football at that very same time,
we would have
been really tough.
1, 2, 3. Despite being close to a 3-year starter for the Bears, standing 6'4" and possessing a strong arm, following his senior year of football, Jack was ignored by the Division I schools. He instead landed at Division II Winona State University. You felt he should have been a D1 guy.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely a D1. When anyone goes into, say, if they play Division II and they start their first, right away as a freshman and excel, they should have been at the next level up.
At Winona State, Jack was thrown into the fire as a freshman.
We knew right away. There really was never a doubt that this was going to be his team for 4 years.
Playing so early in his collegiate career, Jack had a chance to prove his worth.
He played for a while with a chip on his shoulder because I think truly, especially after the successes that he's had,
pass and touchdown.
I really think he feels that he could have played at that level or at least maybe a higher level, but he'll also tell you in the same breath that he made the right decision and there was no regrets about going to Winona State.
Touchdown, Bronx.
After 4 years, Jack went on to rewrite the record books in college. He threw for a school record 102 touchdown passes. He also racked up the most total yards in school history, and he threw for a Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference record 12,007 yards. Safe to say that resume is pretty full.
After maybe my junior year, I started to realize this could be an opportunity, and I started taking it maybe a little more seriously. And it's something I really want to do with my life.
If you could take, the mind of another guy and the mechanics of another guy and put them all together, you'd probably end up with Jack. Jack was the first one that I've coached in my 17 years that could do all of it.
Coming right into...
I've played 40-plus games in college. I've seen almost everything. Even though I play at the Division II level, I feel like I can adjust the competition pretty well.
He's 6'4", 240 pounds, which is a big deal for the NFL scouts. Got all this time to be able to step up in the pocket. This kid, you could watch film on him all day long.
And of course, he asked Winona State offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Cameron Keller, Jack can really throw the football.
This is one of those throws that you really can't teach a kid how to. He can either do it or he can't. That's a window the size of a shoebox. I don't care Division I or Division II. Those are throws that not a lot of quarterbacks can make. Anybody in this area, he was the best quarterback, hands down. And that's when you want to talk about true pocket passer. NFL prospect quarterback, he's at the top of the list.
But Jack knows he isn't perfect. What is it something that you really want to work on
I think the thing they talk about the most is working on footwork. Just kind of clean everything up, make sure nothing's sloppy, just being precise with every drop you take, and helps deliver the ball better.
Jack doesn't want to just make it to the league for himself. He wants to make it for the city that made him who he is today. He wants to make it for the city of Byron.
I love Byron more than anything. I mean, it's the city that kind of shaped me and molded me to who I am. It's the town I grew up in, and it's the town I want to make proud.
But the question remains, is Jack Nelson good enough to play in the NFL?
He has that underdog quality going for him, and I think that kind of drives him. And I truly believe that he believes he can succeed, and I think the others around him too.
Well, I think they're going to get a kid that's extremely intelligent football-wise, and he's going to know how to prepare.
You know, if you talk to his coaches in the past, I think his teammates, they'll tell you he's not full of himself. And the accolades, the awards, all that stuff, he doesn't like it. He just wants to win.
Why should they take a chance? I don't know. I guess the best thing that I could tell you is that I wouldn't bet against him.
I'm hopeful. I mean, you have to be hopeful this time. Only I'm hoping is just that some team will just give me a chance and be able to prove myself. Because I feel like if a team gives me a chance, I can go out there and show that I belong out there.
And when I talked to Jack earlier this month, he says, like any other draft prospect, he'll be hugging his phone all weekend long, just hoping for that call from one team.
Yeah, it could be a long wait, and as we mentioned in the story, he's Division II quarterback. Do you think he's going to get drafted this week?
You know, talking with Jack and talking with his dad, Scott, as well, it's pretty unlikely that he could get drafted. He could make a training camp roster as an undrafted free agent. He had a pro day earlier this winter with New Orleans, Green Bay, and Minnesota watching him throw. Hey, maybe one of those teams will end up having Nelson in camp in the next few months. Should be very exciting.
That is very, very exciting.
Well, best
All
of
right.
luck to Jack Nelson.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sean.